Hey guys, it's Luke here, your digital concierge at Gramophone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SU-G700 by Technics. If you guys don't know Technics, they are the hi-fi arm of Panasonic, known for bringing us legendary audio pieces like the original SL-1200 turntable, which is alive again today in new form as well as many other brand new products from the company recently revived by Panasonic. Look at it, it's gorgeous. These are classic looking pieces, but with a slightly modernized style, understated yet handsome. And there's just something about them that draws anyone who loves and appreciates good audio back to products like this. So I'm really excited to be able to dive into what the Grand Class SU-G700 has to offer. But before we get into what makes Technics truly a kind of a special thing in this world of audio, make sure you guys get subscribed to the Gramophone channel because we've got a lot of other great content coming up. There will probably be more beautiful pieces like this one, more high-end headphones, speakers, TVs, you name it. So much is on the way, and I don't want to see any of you miss out because I know about all the exciting things we've got coming. So the G700 does something very special that Technics has been working on for some time, and that is, how do you take digital and make it not sound like digital? As in, how do you marry that vintage hi-fi charm that we all remember, but make it work in a modern world of streaming and other digital solutions, but not lose it? Technics has gone back to the drawing board with a whole lot of new technologies to integrate here to squeeze every last bit we can out of all of our modern day digital sources, but still get that audiophile charm that we've been missing. And it starts with how they do their processing. This integrated runs in essentially full digital until basically the last moment that the signal has to hit the amplification stages, namely this being an integrated, the pre and power amp circuit. Part of the way they do that is using a technology they developed called Geno Engine, which stands for jitter elimination and noise shaping optimization. It analyzes that signal in real time to reduce jitter and also cut back on any noise inherent in that digital feed itself. And that's part one of their solution. The other part is in power delivery. Just as important as any power amp, or preamp for that matter, is how you are giving power to it, the power supply. Technics is using a special take on a switch mode power supply, which a lot of people may hear and turn their nose up at, thinking, oh, one of those digital power supplies? Yes and no. But what they've developed is their own take on this technology, and they call it the high-speed silent hybrid power supply. And this is one of the first ever implementations of a switch mode supply that beats many classic linear power supplies in total noise. But there's even more to it. This has built-in power conditioners that have carbon-based film capacitors that even further cut down. So you optimize the input through the supply, and then what's coming out of that goes through a built-in power conditioner already in the unit. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't use an external power conditioner, but it just got a whole lot less important considering Panasonic/Technics has put so much to give you such a clean signal from the very entry of plugging this into your wall inside the unit itself. As that signal moves through the system and is finally ready to go to the analog amplification stage, it moves through the optimally activated circuit system, which allows different parts of the unit and different modules to be switched on and off individually, ensuring that you have no noise contamination from components you don't currently need. I don't know of any other product that does quite such a thing. The power modules in this unit are a unique interpretation, again, of pulse width modulation Class D modules. Except Technics' take on this is to push that Class D switching to extremely high frequencies to ensure that no noise from that circuit can leak back into the audible signal. They use something called load adaptive phase calibration. Basically, the amp itself can test the speaker that you plug it into in real time and get an idea of how that speaker behaves, because the amp can adapt to make sure that its own character is always maintained. And basically what the character of this amp is, clean as a whistle, and it leans a little bit bright, but in a good way. It's not the shrill kind of bright. There's an airiness to this amp that's really cool. But that being said, it's not to say that bass is lacking. Everything in this amp comes off as feeling under control. Keeping in the theme of minimal amounts of noise, this has a very quiet built-in phono stage that works very well. Rarely will you need an external phono stage, as the one in here sounds very good. And finally, you can see up front, there is a Class AA headphone amplifier. And again, keeping in the theme of the Technics, it is clean. When running this with analog line in, you can expect from as low as 5 Hz to as high as 80 kilohertz. Basically, this amp can do so far beyond the usual audible range that it is never a concern. When running this in phono, it does from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. Again, very respectable. Phono being a little bit different because it's such a low level to begin with, but it's getting everything that we can hear out of your LPs. And finally, digital is even more impressive, going from 5 Hz again, but now to 90 kilohertz rather than the 80 of the analog lined in. It also features a load impedance of 4 to 16 ohms, being stable into any of that, so you can go into low impedance speakers with this amp. And also a little bonus, the digital stage does support DSD over PCM. And the first time you hear it, there's just this genuine feeling of something refined and balanced, almost handsome in its sound, the way that it's handsome in its look. A little cliche, I know, but it's there. Boy, this is a handsome amp, and I know I've said that word so many times, but just keep thinking of it. Look at it. But let's start with the basics and cover the dimensions. This is 16.9 inches in width, it is 5.8 inches in height, and it is 16.8 inches in depth. It also weighs in at 27.2 pounds, being actually a little bit lighter for an integrated amp of this caliber. But that is because of the type of components that Technics has opted to use here. When you pick this thing up and just examine it over in person, you can see where the quality's at. Technics just knows how to do it. One thing that you can't see from here, but going on the inside, and a major part of this unit's design, is how it is separated and spaced out. The main board is cut into 3 distinct and separate sections to ensure the least noise transmission possible. And while this isn't necessarily a integrated mono block, so to speak, it is a little bit reminiscent of that style of separates construction, keeping everything portioned out. The cabinet itself is a very high rigidity aluminum cabinet made out of a 1.2 millimeter thick aluminum. It's sturdy and it's going to hold together well for a very long time. And finally, guys, look at this front fascia. From that soft white light you see on the beautiful meters on the front, gotta love those classic analog meters, to this almost metallic yet kind of piano black aluminum faceplate with just that very shallow brushed finish. This thing is like wearing a tux on the front of it, and I love it. It's so elegant. And if you were to pick a unit like this up, I urge you to have this on full display. Do not hide it in a cabinet. This is made to be seen and to be heard. Even the knobs feel super smooth. The volume knob just glides, and my favorite is actually the source knob, which always clicks over with a very engaging little thud that you can feel in your fingertips, and there's just something so satisfying about that. There's something about the tactility of high-end audio pieces like this that really is part of the overall experience, and I hope we never lose that. This also comes in an equally elegant and striking silver. If this is tuxedo black, that is like silversmith shop silver. That kind of elegance, that kind of presentation. You get 2 analog line inputs, you get 2 coaxial digital inputs, you get 2 optical digital inputs. You're seeing a theme here. Well, I'm sorry, it's going to end. But you do get a USB Type B in, and thank you, Technics, because why any modern piece of digital audio equipment doesn't have a USB Type B, I don't know. Other manufacturers do take notes. USB is good. And then on the outside, you get 1 analog pre-out, 1 analog line level out, and of course your headphone output on the front. And then obviously this is an integrated amp. You have 2 pairs of speaker terminals on the back for your left and right speaker because, well, stereo integrated. And it also includes a very nice looking remote. For under $3,000, the Technics SU-G700 integrated stereo amplifier is truly a work of art, both visually and sonically, and it pursues that Technics goal to a T of minimizing noise wherever they can and achieving a sound reproduction that comes off as squeaky clean, yet has a certain smoothness to it and a very pleasant, often unheard and relatively unseen in other products today, quality of air. So if that sounds like the character of the next stereo piece that you are looking for, head on over to skybygramophone.com. Just click the link down below. You can check out securely and have one of these handsome integrated shipped fast and free straight to your door. You will find us in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland. And also while you're out, please visit our lovely Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley, Maryland. This particular unit is on display at Timonium. Also, we're on social media. Check us out at Facebook, Instagram, Houzz, Twitter, and there's a few others too. Just check the links down below. If you need help coming up with project ideas, if you need to schedule a service request, or you just want to speak to one of our hi-fi, home theater, and interior design experts, get inspired at gramophone.com. Also, ask at gramophone.com if you have any questions about anything that I've ever covered here on the channel. Please give me a like if you enjoyed this video, put a comment down below, and subscribe to the Gramophone channel for all of your audio and home theater needs. What do you guys think of the Technics SU-G700? Would you want to see more Technics products like this in the future? Maybe even some of their reference line? I don't know. You tell me. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Be seeing you.